Yodel.
Yodel. How do you yodel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a pretty good yodeler.
Oh, you can do it too. Try
So
it.
opera,
Try it.
yodel. I feel like I want a different.
You can yodel. No, you can yodel.
Too much pressure. I have to do
We
it
already know your
spontaneously.
Your thing is beatboxing. We all know that. You're a master beatboxer.
I watched that recently in shame.
Christian, go ahead and
Amazing.
insert that right here.
You're on.
I've never disliked you guys more than right at this moment. The things that you make me do. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Oh, so that was a DJ who never got to the drop. You'll notice, like the DJ. Perfect. That's so good. Yeah. No, yodeling's easy. You just kind of make your voice go like whiny and stuff.
What else?
Yeah.
Okay, so yodeling, opera. What are other
Isn't there,
random, interesting?
What's the throat singing one where they
Like
Gregorian chant or
What?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff out there that's like it sounds not even like a human voice, but it is. Yeah, some chant type thing.
Okay.
Weird stuff. That's what it sounds like. Almost.
It's like the human dickery-doo.
Oh yes, yeah,
okay.
didgeridoo, but
Okay.
didgeridoo's funny. Didgeridoo's funny. Jordy's face when you said that, he was like, it was like a record scratch. Like what? What just happened?
That's great.
It sounded weird earlier today when we were all trying to do the Yeah. There was this girl. It's just weird stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Interesting when
Those of you
people
not
can do
clued
it
in,
their
that was Crash
voice.
Test Dummies.
Crash Test Dummies, thank you. Yes. What's the song, Christian? There's no good way to say the title of that song.
We had to look it up to see if there was a Chipmunks version
Yeah.
of it, and there is. So that's something.
So check that out today.
Yeah, we'll link to it in the show notes. That'll be a good thing. Okay, welcome back, season 3. By the way, I'm Terry. To the left, Todd. To his left is Jordy. To his left is Christian. To his left is Megan. To her left is me again. All the way around the podcast Command Central table. Good times. And there are like milk dud type fancy milk duds in the middle of the table today.
fancy.
So if you hear some chewing in the background, I
Where'd
guess
you get
that's what's
those, Christian?
happening.
Is that a local chocolatier? What's a chocolate refinery? What are those places called?
Chocolatorium.
Chocolatorium.
Chocolate
Chalk
Taffery.
Stadium. Chocolate.
I got those at Earth Fair. So they're all organic, whatever that means.
Oh, Earth Fair, the store. Earth
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, it's an organic store.
Yeah, they look organic.
Interesting of you. What was that? Throat singing on your phone?
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yes, it's time to get Kai off the bus. I apologize.
It's interesting to have the milk duds with the grapefruit bubbly. That's an odd choice.
Oh,
It is an odd
That's an odd
Wow.
combo.
Yeah.
Combo
I
platter.
haven't had the grapefruit yet. Look at that. Who
So,
likes this?
welcome to season 3. We are talking all about lead generation. The first 2 episodes have gone like gangbusters. Wait a second. Hold on. Is this episode 3? I have to time
Well,
out
so
here. It's
here's
like-
the question.
This is
So
weird.
I ran into this in season 2. Is I assumed like your intro doesn't count
It's
as an episode.
episode 0.
And so then everything's 1, 2, 3, 4
I
after
numbered-
that.
I numbered
but
it as
Christian
1.
went straight. He was like episode 0 is 1 in his book.
Oh.
And then there's a couple times I did show notes.
Right.
And he
And I
edited
corrected
it back.
So what?
Listen,
We have
what
to get on the same
Christian
page
says
then.
goes.
We have to get on the same page. So this is episode 3.
It's the third one of
I know,
season.
but we
Yeah.
have to say episode.
It's episode 3.
So episode 1 is
Okay.
an intro.
Right.
Episode 2 is the first piece of content.
Yeah, because we get credit for it. Because when you count the episodes, you want them to number up. You
Yeah.
don't want just because it didn't have a number.
That's true.
So.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying at home. You're like, isn't this something you guys could have discussed off the air?
No, we like to bring
Yes,
you right
no.
into the
Yeah,
fold.
we
Leave
don't
the
discuss
mic
anything
running.
off the air.
So this is episode 3. It's simply titled "The Only Thing to Sphere is Sphere Itself," Part 1.
Part 1.
So it's a 2-parter. Credit to Jordy for coming up. We were kicking
Strong
around
work, Jordy.
good titles for this, and we decided upon "The Only Thing to Sphere is Sphere Itself." But before we dive
Part
in,
1.
email part 1. Part 2 will be next week.
Thank God there's another one.
That's right. Email info@boomrealestatepodcast.com. Connect with us as well on all the social media stuff. But we're excited about this. When we talk lead gen, I think a lot of people don't even think of their sphere as lead gen, and that's a big mistake. So do not sphere the sphere. Let us not sphere.
Yes.
Let us not fear the sphere. And let us move on into the sphere world. So we have 2 parts for this, though, and we're excited to dive into part 1 right now.
Yeah, I was going to quickly look up quotes that have fear so that we could work in the sphere thing some more. But I'm going to introduce while I look at that later. All right, so
That's
All
my
right.
favorite jingle.
We are talking about sphere of influence. So you know this whole season about lead gen, and as Terry said, the most important thing you can focus on is your sphere of influence. In fact, we believe that relationship type business should be somewhere between 60 to 80% of your business, which means that if you're a newer agent, we understand like relationship business may be 0% of your business as you come out the gates. Because as you're going to find out the gate, what you're going to find out is that your friends and family typically don't want to give you the business because they don't trust that you know what you're doing because you're new and they know you. So a lot of times you're going to be working some of those cold leads. But over time, what's going to happen is there will always be a transition, and your goal should be to get to the point where you're doing about 60 to 80% of your business based on relationship type business. So we're talking about people that you know directly, the referrals from those direct leads. That's your sphere. That's what we're trying to work. That last 20% or 20 to 40, depending on where you are in your career, that is going to be material or leads coming from areas that you're working to grow your sphere, and it just so happens you get some business off of it as well. So it all kind of comes back to that sphere. So I'm going to make it very simplistic for you.
Okay.
All right. We may have said this on the show before. I know we told our team this, but there was a coach, Terry and I coached baseball for a couple of years, and the head coach of that team, his name was Coach Alter.
Yep.
Also, and his actual name was Dick Alter.
Yes.
So, Dick, if you're listening,
He's a big fan of the show.
Huge fan.
Friend of the
Huge
show.
fan
of the show.
But he would constantly yell at our team.
Yes.
And one of his favorite phrases was, "It's a simple game."
Simple.
As they messed something up, he would just scream, "It's a simple game." He would just scream. And so it hit me recently that this real estate really is a simple game. Like I know it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But when you really break it down, it's a simple game.
Yeah.
And all it is one, grow your sphere, and two, market to your sphere.
That's so good.
All right. That's all it takes. And if you can do that, you can do it consistently, you do it well, you will grow your business, you will enjoy your life. And that's what this podcast is about. So that's what we're going to break it down into is we're going to do two-parters.
Yes.
We're going to keep it simple.
Simple game.
Part, grow your sphere. Second part, market to your sphere. That's what we're talking about.
As we dive in part one, and I'm going to remind you of this throughout the next two episodes, but we have started doing all these webinar trainings, these free online trainings, and there's one that we have that Todd does that is all about the sphere marketing, and he does that on a consistent basis. Every couple of months, he'll jump in. It's a 1 hour deep dive on how to market to your sphere. We're going to hit the high level stuff in these next two episodes. But if you want more information, go to boomspheremarketing.com and register for that next webinar whenever it's coming up. Whenever you're listening to this, there's going to be one coming up. Check out Todd's training on that, though. It's free. It's really, really good. So boomspheremarketing.com. And I'll remind you of that later on, too. But yeah, so part one, grow your sphere. Megan, that's where we're starting here today with the who. Please stop. Please stop doing
What's
that.
Sound, producer Christian?
ASMR.
Can I just say that we have one of my children who shall remain nameless. He has a real problem. I have one son, by the way. He has a real problem of chewing with his mouth open at dinner, and so my whole life I'm hearing that sound right now.
Yeah.
So please let me have a minute.
Do you
away from it.
constantly tell him to stop, and he still does it?
He does it. It's subconscious. Like he's not aware he's even doing it.
We've got a daughter that does that,
and he's always like,
all the time.
he's like, sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Every time, you know. I don't know.
The kids know that I don't like. That's one of my I have an
nasty,
issue with
yes, it's
mouths,
gross.
and so I'll reach over and just put her lips together and chew. But now they know it enough that they'll come up to me and I'll be sitting somewhere and they'll come up right in my ear and start chewing, and I'm like, you stinkers.
Nasty. That's gross.
But yet it's kind
Kids
of funny.
are so gross.
They really
All right,
are.
Megan, let's talk about the who of growing your sphere.
Okay. So here we are. We're growing our sphere, and who are we going to talk to? Okay, it's easy, simple. Everyone you know, everyone your significant other knows, everyone your mom knows, everyone your sister knows, everyone you know and could know should be in your sphere. I always say, go through a week of work and just say, all day, every day, wherever you go to the grocery store, you go to get your hair done, you go to work, you go everywhere you go, think of all of these people that you touch throughout the day, and then everybody that they know. It's everyone. It's everyone. It's a simple game.
Yeah,
okay.
Simple game. Yes.
And then think local, think national, and even think international, because what's great about real estate is you can work and connect and grow everywhere. And we will dive more into that later, but just know every connection you have, do not put geographic boundaries on them at all.
Nice.
So local, national, international. And then don't forget to add them as you go. So as you're thinking about all these people and you're meeting them and you're growing and you're meeting somebody else, make sure you're adding them as you're growing so that it doesn't pile up and you don't forget, doesn't slip through the cracks, but add as you go.
Yeah, it's just so easy as you get busy with business and stuff. You're meeting new people, and they could be potential clients. Like, you're so purposeful when you start real estate, and because you're thinking through everybody. Like, when we have a new person on our team, first thing we tell them to do is you're going to sit down and just brainstorm absolutely everybody you can. And so it's very purposeful. But then as you grow your business, you get less purposeful with it, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh my gosh, I have known that guy. And what happens is you see that they're like, they put it on Facebook that they're moving. And you're like, what? And then you really think about it, you never marketed it to them at all, even though you've known them for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Yep.
You've never marketed to them because you weren't purposeful with it. So, yeah you got to get there. All right, so if that's who is in your sphere of influence, the next step you're going to do, so if you've got everybody figured out, like you've gone through everybody, and you know, okay, I've thought locally, nationally, internationally, I've put together anybody that I have contact with, and in today's social media world, Facebook is huge for you to just be able to look at and be like, oh my gosh, I've got 2,000 people right there that I know, that I at least know me well enough to be friends on Facebook, so there's people that I can add to my sphere as well. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to define and organize those people. All right, so when we challenge our new agents when they come on, first step is to make sure that they figure out everybody they know, put them on some kind of Excel sheet or something like that, and we're going to roll into a CRM, foreshadowing, here in a second. All right, but what you're going to do is you're going to put everybody on that sheet, and then you're going to define and organize them, which means you got to figure out, are these people significant enough that they're going to give me business and that I should be marketing to them, or are these people there's no point I should ever market to them? And now, it's probably not something you can answer yourself. You need to ask them that question. Don't ever make assumptions. All right. So again, talking about our new agents, and for you guys that haven't done this and you've been in the business for a while, maybe it's time to redo it. But reach out to them and just say, hey, if you or a friend or family member, somebody you knew had a real estate need, do you have somebody that you would refer to? Yeah. And if you don't, can I please be that person? Okay. Yeah. And they'll answer your questions for you. If they say, you know what, I do, my brother's a realtor, then you wish them the best, and you don't market to them, and you're going to level them differently. You're going to categorize humor in a little bit, which we'll tell you. But just the opposite, if they say, nope, you're the one, all right, great. So you're going to put them somewhere else. All right. And let's talk about where you're going to put them. So that's the defining part. Now the organizing part. Yeah. So you are going to get a CRM. We have talked about CRMs in multiple podcasts prior. We talked about it in an episode 2 of season 3. All right. So we have covered this multiple times. You need to have a CRM, an Excel sheet, your little binder, black book, whatever you want it to be. None of those are going to work in today's game. You've got to step up the game and get a CRM. We're not going to tell you which one to get because there's so many out there, and they will all work if you put them to work, right? So what you're going to do, though, is you're going to organize them into different levels and different categories. The levels are going to be things like VIPs, level 1s, level 2s, level 3s. Call it what you want, A, B, C's, D's, whatever you want. For us, a VIP is somebody that is they are purposefully giving you business. Like, they're going out of their way to get you not just one, like a lot of times you're like, oh, I ran into somebody, they just happen to have a real estate need. But if they're working for you, you need to be rewarding them more. So we'll talk about that later. Then there's level 1s. Now, these are the people that have proven or said that they'll give you business. All right, so these are people that we definitely want to market to. Probably not to the extent of VIPs, but you're definitely going to be marketing to these people. And this is truly going to be the bread and butter of your business. Most of our business, the large majority of our business will come from your level 1s. All right, so that's what we're really going to be honing in on later. All right, then there's level 2s. These are the people you don't know. They might give you business, they might not. These might be some of those initial calls where they didn't answer the phone. Well, they didn't tell you no, but they didn't tell you yes. Yeah. So we probably still need to market to them because we, again, don't want to assume for them. So we're going to put them on there. What if you hold an open house? You meet somebody at an open house. Yeah. They probably were a stranger when they walked in the door, but by the end, you knew their name. You had their contact information because you're doing the open houses right, which we'll be talking about those in a later episode. All right, so now you add them as a level 2 until they earn status as a level 1 or are demoted to level 3. Right? To me, level 3 are for what we use on our team. Level 3 are the people that you need in your contact database. You got to have them, and you might as well have them in your CRM, but you know they're never going to give you business. Right. So these will be people like fellow real estate agents
Right.
most likely are going to be level 3s. Maybe your brother-in-law that his wife is a realtor or something like that. So he's probably not going to give you business, but you still need them in the in your CRM just so that you have, because what you want to do is sync your CRM over to your phone so that everything's just universal.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. So those are how you're going to organize. That's organizing them into levels, but you could also organize them into categories, because we're going to talk about how to market to your levels, but there's different categories of those clients. So even like say within your level 1s, some of your level 1s may be hot leads, some of them may be buyers, some may be sellers. So that's all going to change. You got to make sure that you have organization that way as well. So think about that. All right. And then lastly is you got to make sure you audit your clients, which means go through, we would say at the end of every year when things start to slow down, take time, go through absolutely every name that you have and make sure that they're properly organized into levels and properly organized by categories, and then make changes as necessary.
Nice.
Love
So we're
that.
talking all about growing your sphere. We've talked about the who. We just defined and we organized. And Megan, here we grow again.
Here we go again. Hey, guys.
Hey, Megan, before
Yes.
you go, is customary, we need to bring in funds to this podcast.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
True. Okay.
So one thing we're going to ask is all our listeners is to spread the word and let people know about our podcast.
Okay.
We can't do it without your support. And the other is that we are going to help other businesses grow.
Right.
So we have a sponsor.
Yeah, we do.
For today's show. This is exciting. If you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes, every episode this season does have a sponsor.
Yeah.
Very exciting. These are all up and coming businesses,
Right.
Just because the businesses that have already made it don't want to sponsor us.
Correct.
So we have another up and coming business, and we want to promote them here. So here's the read. Tired of the same dating sites? Looking for love in all the wrong places? Wish that you had someone that truly appreciated your consistent smell of embalming fluid?
What?
We finally have the solution for you at morticiansonly.com. Just download the morticiansonly.com app, peruse your matches, and swipe down to create a match. Morticiansonly.com, making rigor mortis great again. You see, I said swipe down because they're going in the ground.
Just the attention to detail is amazing. That's good.
Is that a real sponsor?
Morticiansonly.com. They are now.
Did you
starting to
check for the
feel like-
website?
I should. I'm going to double check that and make
Just
sure that we didn't
in
get free
case.
Oh, that's
promotion.
super interesting. That's
Yep.
a good idea.
These are the thing. Bing that. Well, yeah, that would be fabulous.
I checked. That website is available if anybody wants it.
I think we need
Did
to
you
jump
talk
on
to
it.
anyone at morticiansonly.com, or
I
did you
haven't.
pull that down off a web lead?
No. I hope nobody's offended. If you're a mortician working part-time as a real estate agent.
Yes.
Well, we're trying to get you matched. I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, we're
for
trying to
all
be
of our
helpful.
Both sides of the
listeners.
transaction
Yeah,
there, I
there's
think.
only
Very
good
helpful,
stuff
man.
happening.
That's really good. You know what we should
So-
do? We should buy all these domain names and then point them to the podcast.
Yes.
For people to
Yes.
go.
On the nose. Good job.
Let
All
me know.
right. Great sponsorship. That's exciting. Check
Very
them
good.
out.
All right.
Swipe
good
down,
stuff.
right?
Good
Swipe
stuff.
down.
Swipe down. Don't forget. All right, guys. Here we grow again. So now we've gotten everybody in and we've organized and categorized and done all that. And now we're going to actually work this sphere that you have because we are not afraid of it. So.
Okay.
First thing
No.
we're going to do, you're
Not afraid of
Not
it.
afraid. We are going to work from within. This is where it gets exciting. I feel like you're diving into your sphere and you're going to start pulling out ways that you can get more and more leads from it, which is the goal here. We'd like you to be a couple of years into your business and your sphere is just working for you and calling you with referrals all the time, right? That's the dream. So first thing you're going to ask yourself are you consistently marketing to your maybes? So you go in and you go to your level 2s and you say, okay, level 2s, where are you going to go? You're on the top of the
What's the
fence.
deal?
Yep. How are we going to make the wind blow?
yeah.
This is Terry's saying. It's
Just
very
run with
good.
it.
I love
I
it.
am?
You know,
How do
yeah,
you
you
make
said
the wind blow?
Oh, yeah.
You were like,
that's right.
you know, if you're on top of the fence, if they're sitting on top of the fence, how are you going to make them, go to one side or the other of the
Yep.
fence? So you're going to look at all your level 2s and you're going to say, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to contact them? Do I need to send them a CMA? What do you need to do to get those level 2s to be a level 1?
Yep.
Or just for peace of mind, off the list or to a level 3. So
Right.
Level 2s, are you consistently marketing to them and trying to proactively get them to be level 1s?
Yeah.
Second, don't forget your past clients. Don't forget your past clients. There are too many agents we see come in, they're so excited to have a closing, and then they never talk to those clients again. There was a study we've talked about from NAR that like over 90% of people said they would use the same agent if they had another closing. And then years down the road, only 11 to 12% did. And why is that? Communication. We just drop the ball, man. We just forget to communicate with our past clients. So they literally, what you've done is created these relationships with people, and they're your sales force. And if you work your sales force and you stay in contact with them and they're loyal to you, they will find you new referrals and leads. So don't forget your past clients. Then your VIPs, I threw those in there because those VIPs, anybody that's ever sent you a referral means they know how to send referrals and they know how to network and they know how to give you business. So go back to those people that give you referrals and really do stuff with them, okay? Really work that. And bonus tip, last thing, are you working your realtor connections and anybody in your level 3 that you might not think is an obvious referral source, but they are. If you make these relationships across the country and even the world, you can pass business back and forth. So
yeah, and I think that the realtor connection thing, like I wouldn't have like a drip campaign type thing going out to realtors or anything like that, but it's more about how you treat people. And there's like, I don't know, maybe you could. This is probably not a great way to focus on it, but like, could you pigeonhole the agents that maybe aren't going to make it? Like, I'm gonna befriend them so that if they get out, they can refer me there.
That's funny.
Or like you look like you're close to retirement. I'm gonna start working you. Like, I don't know.
Todd Ferris, everyone.
it is though.
That's
strategically, you get to make friends with people around the country, and that way you have somebody to send business to and
that's funny.
back, and it's great. But I don't know about the
I think it's funny.
I don't know. They look close, like they're gonna retire. They're gonna retire soon. I can tell.
He's so good. He's always strategic. Always
is.
so strategic.
It's almost
I
scary.
love it. Okay, so we talked about working within your sphere. Let's talk about working without your sphere. Wait, what? Outside your sphere. Adding new people to your sphere.
Scared.
No, the only thing we have to sphere is sphere itself.
Part one.
Part one.
That's right. So we were talking about, remember, we're talking about growing your sphere. Megan just talked about staying within your CRM and being like, looking at the people that you have already and making sure that you are taking advantage of all those connections. Those are the best ones, right? But outside of that, there is a time, and we talked about this in the beginning, where 20 to 40% of your business might be coming from outside your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
All right. And that's going to be something that you want to focus on as well as you continue to grow. And this can be completely cold. This can be lukewarm. It can be different forms of leads. But when we talk about this is adding new people to the CRM.
Yes.
And as you add new people to the CRM, some of them will give you business right away, but some of them you can work the long game with, and then they'll give you business 2-3 years down the road. Yeah. Right? But it's all about adding those people over time. Because again, it's a simple game.
Yes.
Grow your sphere,
game, guys.
market to your sphere.
That's
if you came into this business and you had no business, the first thing you're going to do is grow your sphere. Then you're going to start marketing to them, and all of a sudden, then you'll get business. Then as you grow, so boom, it's a simple game. Thank you, Coach Alter.
It happens, yes.
All right, so what we're talking about, cold leads. Work the cold leads. Don't be afraid of the cold leads.
You're not too good for the cold leads.
Yeah, you're not.
Who do you think
are you
are?
better than them?
You better than the cold leads?
What?
You're not better.
Now, that being said, we hate cold leads.
Yeah, cold leads are the worst. Nobody likes them. It's awful.
If you're looking for ways to grow your business, that's one opportunity. Now, part of that may be, you can do things like internet leads. You can do geographic farming, working expireds. All those things would be considered cold leads and stuff that you could spend money on. So like internet leads is probably the most predominant one out of those in terms of spending money, because you can go to Zillow right now and drop a whole lot of money buying leads from them, or Realtor.com or Boomtown, wherever the case may be. All right, geographic farming, same thing. You can go door knock all day long, but you could also be buying postcards, domains, all that fun stuff that have to do with it. So that's spending money on it. Another way that you can get cold lead business is through spending time. So now we're at an open house. In Indiana, we do our open houses typically on Sundays. So you might be at an open house for 5 hours that day trying to bring in business. You might go door knocking. So again, going back to geographic farming, You might go door knock the neighborhood. Doesn't cost you any money, but it does cost you time.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to meet strangers, and hopefully you're going to turn those strangers into friends. I sat recently, I think I told you guys that I sat recently on a jury selection thing, and like the defense attorney had to choose his, and it was just the cheesiest thing at the very end. He's like, and he had his 12 people, and he goes, you guys, I just, today we came in here and there's 12 strangers, and I just feel like now we have 12 friends.
Did he say that seriously?
And I was like, I was like, guilty. I was so mad. Like, he was awful. He was so long-winded too that the judge was finally like, can you please wrap it up?
That's so funny.
awful.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so spend time door knocking, open houses, business networking, FISBOs, all those things. You can go get cold leads. Now, going back to it, there is a way to get warm leads outside of your CRM. So the people that you don't have in your CRM right now, you can add those by getting referrals. So why not work your CRM and ask them for referrals? Then you can add those people to your CRM. Go on social media. You guys should be having a strong social media presence anyways. Are you reminding people that you're a real estate agent on on social media? Do you have people that interact with you on social media that you're not marketing to outside of social media? If so, they should be in your CRM and you should be marketing to them, which we'll be talking about in part two of The Only Thing That's Fear is Fear Itself.
Yes.
All right. And people you're taking for granted, don't like, this is the one where it's just simply like, and we Megan and I run into this because we work a lot in our schools with our kids and their parents and everything. There's a lot of parents that we know, and it's kind of a sensitive topic. Like, you got to be careful how you go into it. But once you have a strong enough relationship with that parent, you should be comfortable asking them, hey, I do a lot of this marketing, it's all free to you guys. I'd love to keep you updated on what the market's like. Yeah. Would you mind if I just added you to our e-newsletter list or something like that? And you start adding them to those things. So there's ways that you can do it right, but it's things that you don't want to forget to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. There it is. That is part one of The Only Thing to Fear is Fear Itself, part one. Email us info@Boom Real Estate Podcast. Check us out on social media as well. And then don't forget, go to boomspheremarketing.com. Sign up for that free 1-hour webinar. It's a deep dive that Todd leads, and you're going to love it. So get registered for that when that comes up next. And we'll see you next time on the Boom Podcast for episode 4. The Only Thing to Fear is Fear Itself, part 2.
Part 2.